everybody. Today I have a lot of fun things up my sleeve, and I quickly want us to share things that you really need. I really need a haircut. I cannot wait for my hairdresser Bianca to open her door to cut my hair. If there's something specific that you are missing, I miss Cape Town. We reside in Gauteng, and I love the sea and the ocean, and my parents live in Hermanus. So that's one thing that I really miss, is my parents and the ocean and a haircut. Is there something specific that you are missing, that you just long for so badly? Let me know, and let's stay together in this and keep inspiring each other. Thank you for the immense support on the Facebook pages. Yeah, you girls are busy. Marina Smith and Trish Shaw is always there and assisting, and so is a lot of other ladies. I'm just thinking of Roma and Sanette and all the familiar voices I hear on there. Thank you so much. Mackenzie, I hope you are watching. Mackenzie is one of my old customers, grandchild, and she has sent me the most beautiful pictures and the most beautiful collage of something that she has chalked, and I'll share it sometime this week, Mackenzie, so I haven't forgotten. And then something that I really realized the past 2 weeks, is how amazingly, and sorry for the men out there, but this is specifically for the girls, how us girls can juggle things. I cannot believe that I'm standing here, that I'm washed, because we are working at the factory. Jaco was born with very little white blood cells, so his immunity is a great concern in this time, so we need to keep him safe. So when we arrive back home from the factory, we need to disinfect ourselves from head to toes, and I'm standing here. So welcome. I hope that I'll be able to inspire you today to create something amazing. I'm not sure if I can see more amazing things than what I've already seen on our Choco Creations page. Thank you for the great support. Oh, how creative you all are. Absolutely amazing. Something that I do want to remind you about, we're busy finalizing logos, and we are going to have a Choco Champs competition with the Toys and Home magazine. I think we all know that Toys Tydskrif Home magazine, it's one of my favorite magazines. So together with them, we'll have a Choco Champs competition where you'll be able to enter your before and after pictures and stand a chance to win some lovely prizes. So take those pictures. Make sure you keep them for when we have our competition. Kaylee, are there people? Can we start? Okay, so today I'm going to return to the basics. Seeing that there are a lot of new members on the group, and I've realized that we need to reinforce some steps. So bear with me. In the same breath, I'll share inspiration and ideas. Today we'll be working on a previously varnished surface. We are going to create this into this. Okay, first important step when working on varnish, make sure your varnish surface is older than 6 months. So the varnish needs to be older than 6 months. This is just water. So Kaylee, this is no paint in here, it's just water in our Sheen bucket. This is our home brand, our house brand. So this is methylated spirits. Don't use this. It needs to be lacquer thinners. I just grabbed a bottle. Lacquer thinners. Jaco will fetch us one from the garage quickly. So Power Fixes lacquer thinners, not methylated spirits, please. Lacquer thinners. And you clean your varnish surface with lacquer thinners. I've already done it, just to save some time. Once you have cleaned it, wait 20 to 40 minutes for the thinners to dry and evaporate. When cleaning your surface with lacquer thinners, make sure you wear gloves and a mask and work in a well ventilated room or space. Then we are going to paint, and I think the very next most important step is for you to decide which color. So look at your room, look at pictures, go to our website, go like, follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Choco Paints. And the children is the administrators of our Instagram page. So please go follow our Instagram page and see what they are doing on there, and maybe it inspires you even more. Now we are going to start to paint, and from previous times I've heard requests to paint with a paintbrush so that you can see how it's done. And it's really not difficult. Nothing is difficult. Just make sure that you are in the mood to create and to be creative. So my first step, and I'm going to use Sheriff Stone as my base coat. Now this is Steffi from the office pedestals that she brought to the factory so that we can paint them. And my first coat is a nice even coat on my cleaned surface. The reason why we say why we recommend to wait 6 months before you start painting on a varnished surface is it takes time for the oil to cure. Even universal undercoats won't be able to grip on a surface where the varnish has not cured. And you will see from previous brush strokes, my brush just sits in those, and we'll apply a second coat later. What paintbrushes to use? I use Hamilton's Capel that you see on our website. So just evenly, and I'm working here from a very strange angle. You can see there's an imperfection on the surface, so the paint won't mean it, it will just sit in there. And I paint my first coat. And that's how it's done. Easy with a paintbrush. Depends on the outcome you want to create. You can also use a foam roller. Now let me show you. So if you want a very even, smooth application, and even with a paintbrush it is smooth, I promise you, once the paint has dried, there are imperfections in the wood, so the paint won't mend it, it will just sit in all those imperfections. But if you are painting and you just want to even out something, paintbrush easy, no specific tip. If you want to make something smooth, foam roller, and very evenly just roll over your painted surface.
Nadine, there's just an open space on this side. I think it's from the angle that you are standing.
Okay,
it's very tiny. Here with the handle.
At the handle, okay, let me see.
The side.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Kaylee. And work in one direction when you work with a paintbrush. When working with a foam roller, you can actually change direction to get an even distribution. There was a question this morning of roughness when working with a foam roller, and I'm going to share some tips on that later. You don't need to do this. Kelly asked the question. We have a special sign so that I know when there are questions asked.
Can I paint on plywood?
Yeah, we do it all the time. Absolutely. Plywood is the wood with all those layers. You can see how the wood has been compressed. We even, for expos, we have a floor that we've painted the plywood and we've sealed it with a glaze. And that floor has been to numerous expos. And yeah, it works beautifully on plywood. Absolutely. Any other questions, Kaylee? Okay, so once this is done, we'll now wait for our first coat to dry. While we wait, I'm going to show you this side and show you how to paint with metallics. It was a question last week. So slowly but surely I'll make sure that I get through everything that you ask before lockdown is over. So when painting with metallics, it's important to first paint a base coat. And I usually use sheriff stone or matte black. But I want to show you what I've done this morning with Suzuki. Suzuki quickly helped me to prep something. I had Don's wash on this frame. So this is a sheet streak plastic frame. I have shown one of them previously. And I told him, Suzuki, quickly paint base coat, and he used Don's wash. But look how beautiful, even with Don's wash at the bottom, the silver looks. So it doesn't need to be sheriff stone or matte black. This creates just as beautiful effect. Now when working with the metallics, it's important to mix them well. We import the pigments, but it's still water-based, but the pigments are heavy. So we import the pigments from Germany. It's good quality, but they're heavy. So they sit at the bottom. A shake is not good enough because they are quite tacky. It's genuine metal pigments in the metallic colors. And now I use my paintbrush, and on my painted surface that has dried, I'm going to paint my silver. Now there's something on the surface. Maestro is locked outside today because Yaku is in a Zoom meeting, sitting outside. I'm just glad that the Wi-Fi has the strength and capacity to handle us both.
Nadine, here's another question of metallics.
Yeah.
What colors should you paint as a base coat for gold and rose gold?
Any of these, it will be exactly the same. So it can be actually any chalk or color. I've experimented it now with the silver. So the formulation of the golds and the metallics, and we are going to work with it so that I can show you how to tone down the rose gold and the gold. It will be exactly the same. Any chalk or color would work. I've seen it this morning. Okay, so this is my first coat, and I'm just making sure that I apply it evenly with the brush. I work in one direction.
Maestro is very naughty outside here.
Okay, luckily he's not making a mess in our space again. Okay, so metallic color, very important. The metallic colors do take longer to dry. So I will paint my first coat, allow for it to dry, and only then apply my second coat, and it can take longer than 20 minutes. Okay, so you will feel the moment it's dry, you will feel no paint will come off your hand. Okay, now let's move over here, Kaylee. We're going to paint our second coats now. If you want to tone down the metallic colors, like for instance the gold or the rose gold, use different metallic colors. I use silver all the time if I feel that the rose gold or the gold is too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw some rose gold, mix it with my silver. You can't mix metallic paints with other paint colors. The formulation is completely different. And look what a beautiful soft rose pink. Oh, I actually Kaylee love this, ne? Color I have mixed. And now let's use this to paint on our frame. So for plastic, very important is to sand plastic first. Then with a 100 grit piece of sandpaper just to create roughness on your surface so that the paint can do its grip work. But still, before you start painting, clean it well with a lacquer thinners. And now look at this stunning rose gold color that we have mixed. Oh, that is
That's very pretty.
So if you want softer rose gold colors, mix your silver with your rose gold. And this is truly a new favorite. I have a rebellion outside.
Yaku, won't you quickly? No, he's not here.
Yaku has disappeared. How beautiful is this, Kaylee? Can you see it on the screen?
It's very light on the screen, but I can't get the effect.
Can you see it's rose gold? It's soft and absolutely gorgeous. And later I'll do my second coats there. So this is a lovely way to tone down metallic colors. Absolutely my new favorite. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to paint on embellishments. And the technique will be very much the same as we will do on our picture frame. Now with embellishments, let me show you what an embellishment is. An embellishment is something, looks like this, that you can stick on furniture pieces. And something that is beautiful is if you allow your embellishments to blend in with the background color. So you paint it exactly the same color as your furniture piece. I have done it, for instance, on here, and later I've just painted the silver on before the session starts. I'm just waiting for it to cure a bit. I'm going to show you how to antique it and really give it a nice and beautiful effect. I stick at small embellishments with Blitz stick gel. Here's free advertisement to Bostik, but it's a gel super glue, so it doesn't run once you apply your embellishment. It's lovely to work with, especially small embellishments. Larger embellishments, there's a product sticks alike, and they've removed the last part. And there's also tough as nails. The only thing is you need to secure it with masking tape, especially above a door. If you use one of our big embellishments, you can ask your nearest stockist, look on our website, and then secure it with masking tape once you've stuck it down so that the glue can cure before you remove the masking tape. Okay, so we're going to move forwards and backwards because we're still busy with this, and I'm just seeing a blob of paint that I want to remove because I need to give this back to Steffi. Okay, let's just distribute that nicely and evenly. Allow your paint coats to dry before you start applying the next coat. I just want to fix the blotches. Okay, now there was a question earlier today on the group. How long can you keep your glaze in a container once you've mixed it with water? And here is the answer. We've mixed this together sometime during lockdown. I can't even remember how many weeks back. But I've mixed my antique glaze with cooled down boiling water, and it's still perfectly fine. And the same with your clear glaze. Now the antique glaze, for those who don't know, can you just stand there? I'm going to get all the things that I need. Let me just see where I've put that antique glaze. Just there a second with me. So the antique glaze looks like this. And this is the perfect product you can use when you want to create an antique effect on embellishments, on grooves, crevices. We're going to do it on the picture frame, on the mirror frame. We're going to do it on there so you can see the use. On larger, flat surfaces, when you want to create a mottled antique finish, you wash with various paint colors, I usually use Sheriff Stone, Elvis Mix, or like we've done last week. Just go wild with different colors. Very important. En Johan, hierdie bord is spesiaal vir jou gegryp. I made a promise last night, I think, in my sleep to paint onto brass, okay? And I've given it a base coat in Sheriff Stone, like we've done here. Then I've painted it silver, and now I'm going to apply the antique glaze. So the antique glaze I'm going to do on top of our metallic colors today, and mostly silver. So let's start. Damp cloth is very important when working with metallic glazes. I have not done this before, so it's going to be a first for me as well. Amanda has painted many of her brass items, but just to show you it can be done. So I have a damp cloth. All excess water has been squeezed out, and I'm going to use there's fine detail in here. So I'm using an artist brush. Just give my antique glaze a good mix. So how have I mixed my antique glaze? On the lid of the antique glaze, it says dilute with 30% water. I have done that, and I've added 30% matte black charcoal to my antique glaze. So it's 3 parts antique glaze, 1 part water, and 1 part matte black or Sheriff Stone. But you have seen we have done so many things together during lockdown. We have mixed our antique glaze with vineyard stone before to give it a lighter shade. And what I'm going to do, I'm with my damp cloth, folded like a ball, I'm going to start wiping away. So I haven't painted the entire plate. I'm working small sections to create a pewter effect on my brass. Small sections. So the nice thing about the glazes, and there was questions this week as well. If I've glazed something, can I paint on top of it again? Yes, you can. No lacquer thinners is required. It's our product, we know it works. Is there a question, Kaylee? We know it works. You simply paint on top of the glaze. So if I want to make corrections on my surface, say for instance, I feel, oh, it's too light over there, or too dark, I want to change it, add some silver again. You can paint on top of both the clear glaze and the antique brown glaze. And I think we'll use a different session just to re-emphasize the uses of the clear glaze. Clear glaze to make surfaces water and UV resistant, kitchens, bathrooms, outdoors. We recommend to use the clear glaze. So we have done a lot. I know there are people that joined late during lockdown, but all the videos that we have done together are available on our YouTube channel. Just go have a look. It's free. You can just go and view, and please subscribe. Now let's do the detail inside. This is going to be the fun part. So I'm making it nice and wet so that I have time to wipe away. The glaze does dry rather quickly, and that's why we have to add our water, and why I like to add some paint in as well, to just prolong the drying time. Now it looks quite messy, and very gently, I don't dig in here. I wipe gently. If you apply too much pressure on your antique glaze, you just wipe everything off again. Gently. When you start, work smaller areas at a time.
Nadine, there's one question.
Ja.
Hoe maak mens met die antiek glaze op 'n glad oppervlak?
Op 'n glad oppervlak, on a smooth surface, I don't use the antique glaze. Or then it requires some skill. To create, I'll show you on the flat surface here with the silver what I'll do. So we'll antique glaze this, and then you will actually work with a dirty cloth. If you want to create this finish, an antique finish on a flat surface, you are going to wash with paint colors until you are confident to use the antique glaze on flat surfaces. I have grown so fond of working with charcoal colors on flat surfaces that I don't even attempt it with the antique glaze. So go look at previous videos of how we washed with paint on a damp cloth to create an antique finish with paint colors. Okay, how beautiful is this, Kaylee?
It's very nice.
And if you want to emphasize something, you can go back, add some antique glaze, and gently wipe away. It's nice, here are some flat surface, but there's lots of grooves and crevices that really adds a beautiful effect. Now I want to show you, if I just want to lighten up the entire item that I've painted with the antique glaze and the silver. If I want to lighten up, if I feel that this maybe is too dark for my preference, can you just stand there? I'm just getting the silver and my brush I used previously. And all I'm going to do, so there's silver on my brush, I removed any excess. And what I'm going to do, very lightly, and this is called dry brush, I'm just going to brush over my plate. And then it looks even, beautiful, like a pewter item. No one will ever know that it was brass. Okay, and there it's done. Can you see nicely, Kaylee? Okay. Okay, Johan, I hope it helps. If anything is unclear, type those questions so that we can answer them. To come back to the antique glaze on a flat surface, let's dampen our cloth. Damp cloth, always important for the glazes, and the reason is your damp cloth allows that you can more evenly and smoother distribute the glaze on your surface. Make sure when working with a clear glaze that you have diluted it with a 30% water as the instruction says, and work with a damp cloth, remove excess moisture, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my cloth dirty with some antique glaze. And I always make sure I have a backup. If I need, let me just see where my other cloths are. Okay, they're like cloth. I know where they are. If I need to wipe something away immediately when I feel I want to make changes, I have a clean damp cloth handy. And now very light pressure, that's why I said this morning, I can't remember your name when you asked about the foam roller, which I will show just now. I said don't be cross with your husband or your children when you paint. Evenness is the key to success, light movement. And now I can take my damp, clean cloth and I can wipe away evenly, gently, softly. Sorry, I'm painting my table as well. And when I want to fix something, if I feel, oh, I don't like these lines, you go with your first color, which is my silver, and you put that on a damp cloth or with a dry brush as I've shown earlier, and you wipe on top. So this will be play, play, play until I'm satisfied. Let's put more silver. And this is very subtle. I don't know how well you can see it on your screen. And I'll continue to play between my antique glaze and my silver until I'm satisfied with the outcome. Okay, another question, and that I can wash more, but that is now wet. Let's wait for it to settle in, and then I can wipe again. What will be easiest if I turn it flat, so that I can wipe from left to right and make sure I evenly distribute it.
We almost have 1,000 people on this live video.
Oh, we've reached?
Almost.
Okay, if there's 1,000, we have reached a new, what do you call it? Record. Okay, welcome to everybody whose first time this is. Okay, no pressure, no pressure. Let's quickly continue on this frame, and exactly the same principles will apply when using the antique brown glaze. So the antique glaze, stunning for crevices and detail. And I'll paint it on my previously painted silver. And bear in mind, this was a plastic frame that I bought for next to nothing. And it was white. Are there any questions, Kaylee? Okay, damp cloth, and I'm gently wiping away. And in an instant, we have a beauty effect. And if you want to change anything, you just return to your first color, dry brush or wash on top. Okay, so calm emotions when you do this and have fun. The fun thing about paint is you can't make mistakes, because you simply can apply another coat of paint on top to create the effect you want to create. On this side, I'm going to show you how to, and let's, Kaylee, I just see something other I want to add. Let's just add that silver, and then we can show the final of the other one I've done. So what I'm going to do, just dry brush with some silver, and you can use your fingers. Make sure it's everywhere evenly. Get dirty. And yes, the complete version. Can you see the rose gold, Kaylee? Oh, sorry. I'm showing Kaylee in the mirror. I couldn't understand why she's jumping underneath the table. Can you see the rose gold there? It is absolutely beautiful. Let me show you the complete version without getting Kaylee in the picture. Okay, I'll put it down and then you see how you want to take the video. So there's a complete version of a plastic frame, and any color can be used. So if you want to rather have color underneath rather than the silver, just do it. Sand the plastic, clean with lacquer thinners, wait your 20 minutes and chop away. We're making space. Then there were questions about blending. And now what I need to do here is quickly paint my second coat. Now blending is actually the most fun technique there is. Because with blending you don't need to overthink anything, and you just let the brush do the work. Does painting with a brush make sense, ladies and gents? So I'm just evenly painting with my paintbrush. Nothing complicated. And once the paint dries, it has a beautiful finish. Okay, does it make sense? No questions. Okay, next, I'm going to turn this entire furniture up.
Nadine, there's a question from where you bought the mirror that you just used.
Sheet Street. Sheet Street, and Mr. Price also had them in their furniture section. Plastic white mirrors, and you actually get them in different shapes. Okay, so Kaylin, will you be able to take a video on top of here? When blending colors together, and now this can be done according to your preference. If you are a very muted person, very neutral tones, calm, you will use those colors. If you are the outgoing person that likes to experiment with color, you will use color. So it completely depends on your preference. I'm inspired by the picture that you've seen and asked how to blend, so I'm going to use that. So first of all, you relax. You can't make a mistake with this technique, I promise you. So I'm just using a paintbrush for every color, and I have a paintbrush, so I'm blending with paintbrushes. I don't use rollers or cloth, I only use paintbrushes, it's the easiest. And what you do is start painting. So very important as well to have a base coat, a base color. I'm sitting at the bottom. So I have the, oh Steffi, sorry, but I will finish the bed pedestals that they look marvelous. So I'm starting with almonds aubergine, and this can also be done on a wool surface, just with larger brushes. My next color I'm going to use will be Laughingly. Lee, this is a special technique just for you. So most important, to enable colors to blend together, both paint colors need to be wet. So you can't allow this one to dry and then start to blend or expect the colors to blend. So I'm just painting that section. Okay, Lee. Then I'm going with Laughing Lee. This is Lee's color. Lee is the person that so patiently answers all the emails at the moment, because we are all running around in the factory. She's my left and right hand. So I'm not going to have straight lines. And now I take a clean paintbrush. And both paint colors are wet, as you can see. And I'm spreading my clean paintbrush over these colors.
We have 1,000, Nadine.
Oh, well done. Lockdown day 55. How many days have we been in lockdown? Okay, and there's blending. Now let's use, and you start and stop. If you feel that you want to change something, you can simply add those paint colors again. Oh, let me get rid of this bristle here. Sorry, I hate when that happens. So let's just even it out. Bling, bling, bling. And then we continue here with maybe Danny's Day. And as I've said previously, if you're not the colourful person, it's fine. Then you use muted colours, colours that you like, but the technique will remain the same. Lovely on a wall, ladies. Lovely on a chest of drawers. I'm working now with Danny's Day. Now Danny is also a lady in the factory that's working very hard to make sure we receive all the orders from our suppliers. And I think at the age of 22, she's great. And I take again a clean paintbrush. Let's just add some green here. I just feel it's too dry. So I'm just re-emphasizing the fact that both paint colors need to be wet. And what we do is we brush and blend. Clean your paintbrush if you feel the colors aren't blending properly. Clean. Let me get a cloth. Clean it. Blend. Blend. Wipe and blend. And I'm moving my brush to blend. And blend. And have fun. Enjoy it. That's the greatest secret to any success. Enjoy it. Oh, this is stunning. Wipe and rub. So I'm cleaning my brush on this side. And the colors are still wet, and I'm just making sure that they blend. This is lovely. Okay, does blending make sense? Let me just remove the bristle here. Fix with my brush. And at any point, if you want to, can you see it clearly, Kaylee? Does it look spectacular?
Yes.
At any point, if you want to change something, you can continue. Come back with the color that you've used. Make the colors wet that sits next to each other and move your brush along those lines. Does blending make sense? I hope the person that asked the question did receive the correct help and feels more confident. Okay, next, I'm going to show you, and now already, look how the glaze has cured here with the silver, and it looks like an old vintage metallic piece of furniture. That's also very important whenever you do paint techniques. Do something, allow for the paint to cure and dry, stand back, have a look, and then make the changes. Okay, if lockdown is over, you can stand back, have a glass of wine, and then make the changes. What I'm going to do here is to show you around the crevices, and it is pretty much the same as the mirror. The only thing is you want your embellishment to look like a piece that was crafted on your surface. So what I'm going to do, once again, my antique glaze, my damp cloth, I'll just move it to a cleaner section. I make use of mutton cloth. Let's put it in those grooves and just finish off the detail of the furniture piece. Now, once again, you will use colors according to your preference. Something that could also have worked for a less dramatic effect with the furniture vinyl, which I'll show you how to apply, is light colors like our antique white, which is called Velvet. Now, for the people that are new to this video, Choco is focused on job creation and empowerment. So the names of the paint are named after people working in the factory. That's actually part of the family. Can you sing, Kylie? Yeah. So I'm working with my artist brush in all the crevices and grooves, small areas at a time, gently wiping away. And later, if I want to make any changes, I'll just come back with my silver and paint in there with my silver. I'm just going to focus on this section over here. Make it really old and vintage. Oh, and this is fun. It's therapy. You don't need to overthink it. Allow us to do the thinking work and you just have fun. So the less drama you want, the more you will wipe away. Can you clearly see, girls? All good. And I rub in there. And with my cloth and my finger, so I push my finger in there to wipe away. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'll continue. Can you see what I'm doing, Kaylee, or is my hand in the way?
No, it's visible now.
So I wipe, brush on, wipe off. And then I'm going to take some silver. I just want to do that section as well, okay? It tells me to hurry up. Let's just put it in there. Okay. You need to start thinking while you're watching the video of what you want to see next, so that I know what to plan for next week. Take my finger. And take some silver. Kylie. And an artist brush. And to just make pretty. And what I'm doing is I'm just brushing over the antique glaze with my silver to hide any imperfections, things that I want to hide that no one will actually know how this was accomplished. It looks like a very old piece of furniture. Use your finger to spread everything evenly, and you have done it. And if you want to make changes, add some more antique right at the end. You simply do it. I just want to emphasize this corner. Sure, it's stunning. And I am completely satisfied. Okay, I will do exactly the same with the edges of this cupboard. So I've used my antique glaze to make lines, make it look old. Something that also works that I love is if you take a piece of sandpaper and just here and there sand a bit. Sorry for the sound. So I'm just giving ideas. You don't need to sand. This is something that sometimes is just the final touch, especially when we create a vintage look and feel. And something that I will also do is just take my silver on my sheriff stone, and Kaylee, you'll maybe have to stand on your toes, and I'll just dry brush with my silver to create a sanded look, but it's actually not sanded. So dry brush, little paint on a dry brush, and very even strokes. You just brush. Now to apply the furniture vinyls. So this is something that we've done on the top. What I had to do here is I had to make a joint because the vinyl wasn't big enough, but I can also seal this with our clear glaze. It's not something that I would recommend for a dining room table, bed pedestals, coffee tables, definitely, then you just use our glaze and you seal, wipe it on evenly on top of your vinyl if you want to use this to make it water resistant. Now to stick the furniture decals or vinyls, it's part of our charcoal range, is quite easy. So I've measured mine already to actually go on the, so you cut it, you measure, cut according to size. So I've already measured and I'm cutting. Then you paint a base coat first. Okay, I haven't done that, but I have cleaned the wood so it should be fine. Kaylee, we're going to stick it over here. And what you do, we've already measured it, so we pull back a piece of it. Make sure it's clean our surface. And now you don't need to be an artist or a stencil guru to add something beautiful on your painted surface. And you simply pull it back and stick it on your surface. And to create a final effect, just pretend that the base coat was already painted. I haven't done that yet. So I'll take some sandpaper, and it's exactly what I've done on the other one, and I'll just sand the edges of the vinyl with the wood so it doesn't look like something that was stuck on. To just create something beautiful. To show you here the final coat, my first coat was applied. And I'll paint my second coat of Sheriff Stone on you. So this is work in progress. And there's a beautiful coverage. And now I can continue to do this bed pedestal in the same way as the other one was completed. So let's quickly recap before I finish off with, with rolling, with a foam roller on a surface. This, the new rose gold that we've mixed is an absolute new favorite. So we're rolling paint on a surface. There are a few things that's important. First of all, no breeze in your room. No wind. So it needs to be here. You can open windows, but there shouldn't be a fan or something on your painted on the surface that you're going to paint. Second of all, don't be cross with anyone in your house, because this is actually a very light, gentle application. The harder you're going to press, the more you're going to roll, the greater your chances are to actually have a very rough painted surface. And the moment when you roll too little, it will look like wet paint sitting on your surface. So I'm just going to pour some on my flat piece. And just see the gentleness this is done with. So I'm not pressing hard. I'm not trying to get rid of the air bubbles. They will disappear naturally. Apply evenly your first coat. I'm not pressing hard. The air bubbles need to pop naturally. Okay, can you see there's too much paint? Kaylee, can you see that? Can you see what's happening there? So if you have this, you know it's too much paint that's on that section, so you need to change direction. Even out the distribution. I'm still pressing light. I'm not forcing anything. Kaylee, are there no questions? Can we actually see the questions today?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time that I take a live video, there's no problem.
Yeah, Kaylee, but you know, when the men assist me, we are always struggling. Okay, can you see I've done this gently, and can you see there are air bubbles on the surface, but I'm not trying to get rid of them. I will now allow this coat to dry. Something that's also very important, I answered a question last night where someone painted with a mohair roller, and at the end it's as if there's not enough paint on, you can see lines. Always start in the center when you roll and distribute the paint evenly forwards and backwards so that both ends of your surface can get the same amount of paint. When your roller is dry, don't be afraid to wet it again. Wet it, and just with a roller you can move in different directions so you can evenly distribute the paint everywhere it needs to go. Let's recap. Before we paint on varnished surfaces, make sure it's varnished longer than 6 months back. So it had to at least have a curing time of 6 months before you can paint on it. Clean it with lacquer thinners. Think it's lacquer to be thin. You don't use turpentine or benzene. Okay, allow the thinners to dry 20 to 40 minutes and then paint. And decide what you're comfortable with. Is it a brush? Is it a roller? Is it a mix of the two? Like I've shown where you first paint with a paintbrush, then the roller. Don't be afraid to attempt anything. You can't make any mistakes. We are there to give you the backing and support that you need. Ask those questions. If sometimes it's crazy, I must be honest with you, especially being back at office. And if you feel that you need my attention, please email me, nadine@chocopaint.co.za, NADINE@chocopaint.co.za, and then I will, if I don't personally respond to it, Lee will ask me what to respond, and we'll make sure you get a personalized attention. Thank you for all the amazing support. Let me know what you want to see on Thursday. Should we do something creative with the children? Is there a need for that? Will you please let me know? Should we maybe let them paint some stationery with me? Pop those suggestions. I would love to get your advice. We'll paint on glass on Thursday, definitely. There was questions. There just wasn't enough time today. Look how beautiful our board is, how beautiful our item is. And I just want to show you our pink rose gold. Oh, Kaylee, wys jy vir hulle daar? Kan jy dit sien? Kaylee doesn't want to be in the video today. Thank you for the amazing support, Mackenzie. If you are watching, I'm posting that collage that you've sent me. Stay healthy, stay safe, and thank you for the great support. Thursday, 3 o'clock, I'll be back.